This is mine, yeah. Okay, it's 9 o'clock. We'd like to get started. We'll start with the pledge and the prayer. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Gracious Lord, we come before you today and just ask you bless our meeting and be with us and abide with us and guide and direct us as we make decisions for the betterment of the county and the people who reside here and live and work here. We just ask you to be with our county employees, that you would keep them safe in this rainy weather today, and just continue to have them to do the work of our county and to keep them all safe and sound. We just ask you to be with us now in Jesus' name. Amen.
I don't think so, but Eric's going to talk about that.
Call the meeting to order and entertain motion for the signing of the claims and minutes.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Okay. I'd like to start with the Veteran of the Month, Daryl McDowell, our Veteran Service Officer.
Good morning.
Good morning, Daryl.
Good morning, all. I'd like to get things started this morning by recognizing the Commissioner's selection for Veteran of the Month for April. Christian Moyer is a resident of Kosciuszko County, Indiana, was born on November 12, 1987, to James and Tracy Moyer. Christian graduated in 2006 from Tippecanoe Valley High School. After high school, he worked in construction, building, and remodeling houses before he enlisted into the United States Army in January of 2011. His basic training and advanced military training was conducted at Fort Benning, Georgia. He then departed for Fort Drum, New York, a different climate piece, right at the perfect timing, I'm sure. In January of 2013, he was deployed to Paktika Province, Afghanistan, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. While on active duty, he received several awards: the National Defense Service Medal, NATO Medal, Army Accommodation and Achievement Medals, along with the Global War on Terror Service Medal. Christian was honorably discharged in April of 2014 with the rank of Specialist, 4th class, from the United States Army. After his discharge, he came back to us, Kosciuszko County, where he worked as a heavy equipment operator for good excavating and hauling while attending night school to obtain his bachelor's degree in engineering, using the education benefits he earned during his military service. He has worked for Zimmer Biomet for the last 7 years and is currently working as a senior manufacturing engineer in the New Products Division. Christian lives in Claypool with his wife, Amber, who were married on April 29th, 2017. No pressure. Still got time, man. He loves woodworking and traveling with his wife. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present the Veteran of the Month, Christian Moyer. Okay, with that, Kosciuszko County awards the Veteran of the Month to Christian Moyer in recognition for his outstanding contribution to the mission of serving the people of the United States, the residents of Kosciuszko County, and the honorable service as a member of the United States Army. Thank you for your service.
I don't have much to say. Just thank you. Thanks for this. So that's all.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a few words. Another photo. Thank you, folks. Take good care. Have a good day. Next on our agenda is County Highway Superintendent Steve Moriarty. Nothing today. He's shaking his head. No, don't do it. Stillwater Hospice. Leslie Friedel.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Leslie Friedel, and I serve as the CEO at Stillwater Hospice. I know we've met before. I am
Yes.
officially taking over from Glenn Hall, who will be retiring in June of this year. He's typically been the one to report, so I'm thankful for Glenn's service as part of our organization, especially for the last year as we combined with Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice combined with Stillwater. I am doing a quarterly report just to report back on the things that we have accomplished in Q1 and how we've used county dollars to serve Kosciuszko County residents. In the first quarter of 2024, we served 59 Kosciuszko County residents, which equals 2,747 days that we walked alongside of Kosciuszko County residents as our patients. For each patient, it costs about $7.50 to provide the wraparound services that is not reimbursed through any insurance or Medicare or any insurance program. In the first quarter, we allocated $20,600 to support Kosciuszko County residents and their families. We provided bereavement outreach to 91 individuals and supported them in many other ways. We currently have a grief support group here in Warsaw, and we are looking to grow our grief programming here even beyond our Peggy F. Murphy Community Grief Center in Fort Wayne. Our grief programs are provided to individuals at no cost to them, so through the generosity of support like the county dollars. It costs about $150 per grief counseling session to provide that service. We also were able to, we knew going in that Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice employees were under market value for pay. We knew that that was a struggle for the organization. And over the last year, we've been able to raise their pay to market value and be able to give significant pay increases to those staff members, which was equivalent to about $68,000 annualized for those working here in the county. And one of our members that received a scholarship through our employee education fund to complete her degree was a resident from Kosciuszko County and came to us from Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice. So I just want to thank you for your generous support that continues the work that Kosciuszko Home Care and Hospice has been doing for many years in this county, that continues to support serving those that are facing life-limiting illness and grief.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to give Mr. Hall a round of applause for his years of service to us. I know we've talked several times about what you do, and it's I've had two family members that have had to use hospice care, and it made all the difference in the world to their family acclimating to what they were going through, and then beyond that, the way you reached out to them after their passing. So it's a labor of love. I understand that, and we certainly appreciate everything you do.
Thank you so much.
Anything further?
Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Great update. Appreciate that.
Appreciate the report. Okay, Kedco, looks like Susie Light is here.
Good morning.
Morning, Susie.
Okay, so you have the progress report. I want to highlight a couple of things. You'll see that during Q1, Greg Fitzloff and I served as co-interim CEO. The progress report, Bob, looks like this. this one is the Q1.
Yeah, I got it right here.
Okay, all right.
Right in
Greg
front of me.
Fitzloff and I served as the interim CEOs, and we have had a interesting task. Greg is now focusing on projects, and we're still working heavily on entrepreneurship, housing, and talent recruitment and retention. Business development is critical. We're working closely with the Northeast Regional Partnership on business site development, and there are projects listed on your paper. We're participating in 4 studies. You've heard of the Hunden Transformational Downtown Warsaw Feasibility and Parking Study. Those results were presented to community in Q1. We're working on the Winona Lake Town Center study, a 1300 North study, and a countywide sewer and water study. You'll note at the bottom of the page, KEDCO staff is much leaner than it was at the end of 2023. We are happy, we are not making a public announcement. We are happy to report there will be a public announcement soon on the new CEO who will take the helm in mid-June. We're really excited that we've got a very talented individual who's coming on board. There were 20 applicants from all over the United States seeking this position, and we believe that we have a highly qualified, very talented individual who will be joining us. Our marketing and communications manager is doing an excellent job. Our metrics for hits to our website and opening of our emails is increasing. And she is working closely with a committee of board members on a marketing and communication plan. Dawn is our operations manager, and she provides administrative support, but she is much more than that. She is the key to making sure that everything is flowing properly. She is coordinating financial and reporting processes. We do continue to use consultants and for specific projects. So our entrepreneurship has a consultant that is funded through a grant. And that is the Q1 report I have for you. You will be hearing back from us in Q2 that will include some more detailed information.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Appreciate the report.
I just wanted, yes, I just like to say thank you because you guys have made this a seamless transition, and you've done an excellent job, you and Greg both, and Dawn. I
Thank
think
you.
it's gone very well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. Appreciate you coming in this morning.
Okay. Sheriff's Office, Mike Mulligan, Sheriff Smith,
Good morning.
and Chris
Got,
McCann.
2 agenda items this morning. First one is the in-car cameras with Digital Ally.
Good morning.
Good morning. Morning, Chris. Good to see you.
What I'm here for is the Digital Ally project that we put in place at the Sheriff's Department. Originally, that came through last year. We upgraded all the cameras. Due to a shortfall, what I'm here to ask you for, there is a $26,000 expenditure for the Digital Ally. I'm here to ask you for the $13,000 of it, which is half, and we're going to take care of the other half out of the commissary fund.
Okay. Very good. Do you have any discussion?
I'd make a motion. I think that's a
Okay.
fair way to handle it.
We've taken a look at that, and I think through our land and improvements line item budget, I think we can do that. If we're going to do 50%, and you do 50%.
Yes. We're prepared to
Just
do
the
that.
first.
Okay, we have a motion
Second.
and a second. Any further discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome.
Thanks, Chris.
Next order of business, I have Lieutenant Mulligan here to bring before you a purchase of a vehicle. He's done his due diligence on trying to secure some quotes. He struggled a little bit, just due to the nature of the timing of it. And turns out with this particular vehicle, with the Chevy Tahoe, there was one particular dealership that secured the quote, the state bid, so it was difficult to get many other quotes. He was able to secure one. I'll let him go ahead and talk about that, though.
Good morning, Michael.
Recommendation.
Good morning. So as the sheriff said, I contacted multiple Chevy dealerships, Lakeside being one, Bloomington, Indianapolis, all of them would, none of them would even give us a quote. Contacted City Ford, City Auto Mall in Columbia City. They advised earlier in the year they went through a bidding process, however, they lost that to Kelly Automotive, and they also wouldn't write a bid. So that being said, the paperwork in front of you is from Kelly Chevrolet. We like Kelly Chevrolet. The city deals with them through their Tahoes. They deal a lot of Tahoe police cars every year. So that's our asking for the approval of $49,775 for the patrol vehicle and $50,045 for an administrative vehicle for our, one of our investigators.
And those are both Chevy Tahoes?
Correct.
Okay. Thing, gentlemen?
Is there a reason you're going to the Tahoes? I mean, just the needs that they have for storage of their equipment, some of the other stuff? Is- I've discussed with multiple agencies, Whitley County, Warsaw PD. In their minds, they perform better as far as, and then I guess on the backside, their resale's better.
Right. Something else along those lines too, and we talked to, the city has their own mechanic, and we've kind of been his ear a little bit, talking, and if you look at the totality of everything, the durability, Tahoes have kind of proved themselves. Not that Explorers and the others are bad vehicles, but when you look at the stream of everything, and then ultimately, one day you are gonna have to, replace it.
Trade that car.
And they're finding that Tahoes is a better deal with that, so that's kind of how we settled with the Tahoes on this.
You know about how much different they are from like an Explorer to a Tahoe? It is an essential, but just a guess.
Yeah, I believe the Explorers were 47,300-ish. I don't have that exact number.
That's fine.
So close.
That's close.
So it's
Right.
close, yes, it's
3,000,
within,
okay.
yeah, 2 to 3,000.
It's not like 10,000 difference or something.
No, it is not.
Okay.
The really nice thing about Tahoes is when you put your personnel down the road, you want them in something that is big enough that it's safe and secure. And I've seen a lot of Tahoes around with a lot of different police departments. And one of the big reasons that they went with them is because of the size and the safety factor for that. I mean, you guys aren't little guys, okay? We can't put you in a Volkswagen and put you out in the street. You wouldn't last long. But you get a Tahoe, it's big. You can get plenty of room for you to do your work and keep all your equipment safe. And that's a good choice, I think.
That was a
So,
compliment, I'm sure.
That's how I took it, You're finding a lot of humor in that.
I was gonna say muscular, but then I thought, I don't want your head to swell. But anyway, but that's one of the best reasons in the world for me to say, keeping you guys safe in a substantial vehicle is uppermost, so.
So are you
You
gonna
doing
make a
a
motion
motion?
as president or not? You sound like you're on a roll. I'd make that motion.
Second that?
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
very
you
much,
for all your
Mike.
work, Michael. You've been busy the last year with vehicles. Okay, Kip Shooter,
Morning, Kip.
our
Morning.
emergency management.
Coming for you this morning to ask for your permission to apply for a K21 Health Foundation grant in the amount of $101,000. This would be for a Nonin CO pilot oximeter system, 18 of those units, which are almost $5,600 a piece. Basically, it measures the carbon monoxide in someone's blood. And we will be placing that in every primary fire station responding within Kosciuszko County. The device itself is kind of like a oxygen oximeter that you get in the doctor's office or at the hospital that goes on the tip of your finger that reads the hemoglobin, actually various 5 different forms of hemoglobin. So the firefighters responding can get quick treatment and start that initial medical assessment of those patients that have been exposed to carbon monoxide and carbon monoxide poisoning. So I'm asking your permission to apply for this grant. No funds would actually flow through the county. K-21 pays these invoices direct.
Okay,
But I'm just asking for your permission to
Very
move forward
good.
with this.
thank you.
I'd move forward. I'd give the motion to approve this grant request.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? Do you have anything for?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Keep
Thank
up the
you.
good work. Okay. Bob Momeyer, Systems Administration, he's not here, so we got Eric
Yeah, me
today.
today.
Okay,
So a couple of things. First thing is for our Google renewal with Daston. It's a 3-year renewal. The total would be $150,000, and we could pay yearly payments of roughly $50,000. We did get another quote from SHI. They had the state contract, and they were significantly higher. It'd be about $62,000 a year, so that's why we were going with Daston. And they're a current reseller for Google, and they do our email or Google Drive or Calendar and Google Meets. So
okay.
So that's for our full Google suite that all county employees have on their
yeah,
computers. I'd make a motion to approve.
I would second that.
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none.
You
Go
do
ahead.
have the money in your budget for this, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Anything further?
Thanks. Then the second thing is for another purchase of a Synology box. The idea for this would to put that out at Highway, and this will mirror we have a Synology box here that houses all user data. So when they save files on their computer, it gets stored on this Synology box. So the second Synology box, it'd mirror. So as soon as you say something here, it'd save over at the Highway. So in theory, if our box goes down here, we'd have a complete backup.
It's a redundant box,
Yeah.
redundant system.
Yeah, so.
Okay.
How much is it?
That is $10,685. And we have the budget for that as well.
Okay.
I'd make a motion to approve that.
Second that?
It's been moved and second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Eric, anything further?
Yes, the state also, they've been pushing a lot of cybersecurity training and different grants. They offered a program for local governments to apply for. There's a website called Udemy. They provide cybersecurity training and other IT training. So I applied for that, and it's paid for by the state. They're not writing us a check, they're just giving us access to this
The
training.
Okay.
So
Where's that training at?
it's virtual, so
Okay.
it's online.
Okay, very good.
And no charge, so.
Yeah, so the state's paying for it. And they have their cybersecurity grant for that.
Okay. Is that just information? You don't?
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know that.
Okay, we don't need a vote on that,
No.
I wouldn't think. Okay, very good, Eric. Thank you, appreciate it. Keep up the good work. Okay, we need, okay, let's,
I'd make a motion to approve. I mean, I think anything we can do in that cybersecurity world to continue to shore up our flanks is a good thing, so.
I agree.
More education.
I would
get-
second that.
we get that from the state, something. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Eric. Okay, County Attorney Ed Ormsby.
We have some bids to open. We have bids for some Justice Building furniture and also for the Justice Building parking lot exterior lighting. I've got the lighting here first in my hand.
So lighting for the Justice Building parking lot project.
It's a bigger knife than usual. You want to take a look at that while I open this other one?
Okay, so the first bid that we have is coming from Michiana Contracting. And the total of base bid sum is $169,000. And there is some pole alternates for some additional conduits for a camera system, and also a voluntary deduct for alternate power. So the camera conduit alternate was 12,000, or excuse me, that's an add, 12,349, and a voluntary deduct for the alternate for a different alternate power location was 3,600. So next bid is D&D Electric. The total base bid is $144,553. There is a few VE options, a little more, there's multiple ones having to do with some cabinet, well, actually, the power change location was a deduct of $2618, replacement of Steinberg poles with a different manufacturer, Hapco poles was $6293. And looks like they had some other options on down on just some different lighting, so that was from D&D. So those are the two bids for the lighting for the Justice Building. So those bids will be taken under advisement and probably make a motion at our next commissioner meeting,
Which is May 6th,
which is May 6th.
due to election
Then
day.
our next opening is for furniture for the courts. So the grand total, make sure I'm looking at this correctly. So, I guess it's just a copy, okay, making sure I was reading the right one. It's like the total for the furniture was $291,060.76. Looks like there is a, I guess that's just a deposit, not a discount, so. Oh, so I'm sorry, that's KDA Furniture and Interiors. Then our next quote is from Business Furnishings. And the total of their quote, make sure, is $209,917. And then our last quote is Office Interiors. It looks like the total, making sure we're getting a complete price here.
Yeah, big difference.
Is $158,804. And that was from Office Interiors. So those two will be, or three will be taken under advisement as well, and have a recommendation to the commissioners for the next commissioner meeting.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Ed. Do you have anything further?
Nothing further.
Okay, thank you. County Administrator, Marcia McSherry.
Yes, I have a proposal from Design Collaborative. This is for a multi-building facility assessment. This would include interiors, windows, those types of things, to help with budgeting purposes into the future. There's a lump sum base fee of $60,500, and then there would be an extended services for, to provide high imagery infrared moisture scans, and that would be for $6,400.
Okay. Everything,
Chris, everybody always thinks our,
discussion?
yeah, can Chris come up?
yeah, sure.
Everybody thinks we make up our minds ahead of time. I honestly am on the fence on this, so can you convince the rest of us or me why this is worth the cost?
Yeah, so what we're doing in the 60,000 is also $10,000 of allowances. 4,500 of that is for roof cores if necessary. And then 6,000 or 6,500 of that is for booms and lift rentals and those types of things. So there's the fee itself for the time and labor is approximately 50,000. Of the 50,000, there is a 7,000 piece involved in that, which is a photo mapping of the outside of the courthouse here with a drone service, so that we're not up on ladders and booms and lifts, which it'll be a model that you'll have for ongoing uses also. That allows you to zoom in, map, dial in on a window, talk about it, take a look at it up close, even after we're done or in the future also. So those are three of the big chunks of the fee. The remainder of it is us going building by building. There are approximately 8 buildings that are being assessed, and that's exterior, building envelope, it's site, it's interiors, electrical, communications, low voltage, plumbing, mechanical, security, and vertical egress. So those are the categories that'll be part of essentially a matrix and a form you'll have, a PDF, also electronic form that you can work with in the future. On that, then, it'll show you what we found. It'll also give some background data, which will come from either from what we find or existing drawings, and also talking to and interviewing people who are in those buildings and have a history, the history of the buildings as well. So it'll be as deep a dive as we can without being destructive. And we make sure that there's a difference there. That's where you're digging in and tearing down a wall or opening up something to look inside of. We're not doing that. But aside from that, it is each of those buildings. There are, I believe, 11 more buildings that'll be on that assessment as well. We're not doing work on those, but we are putting information on there that exists today. For example, they're either newer buildings, some of your county buildings out, the highway buildings, type of buildings that have been built recently, or that aren't necessarily warrant this type of an assessment. We're putting them on there, including also, I believe, 4 towers, radio towers, for just maintenance, painting, and it's meant to be a tool that you can use in the future. It's an assessment up front for several of those, obviously, a new assessment, but it's also meant to be a tool for you folks to update, look at yearly. It'll also have ballpark costs of anything that we find in the assessments that we're looking at, or the buildings we're looking at. If we see immediate needs, we'll note that. If we see not immediate but routine maintenance, those types of options in the future, we'll put some ballparks on there as well. And as we mentioned, we'll make it a PDF Excel type of format so that you can use it in the future and update it at your will, or if you find new information that pops up in the future. So that's kind of a large-scale summary of it.
That's helpful.
What's that?
That's helpful.
Yeah,
So,
when you
like-
look at the first number, it's like, whoa, what are we doing here?
Right. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, that's what you said, I'm sure you did. So that's what we're up to, that's the scope of it and the scale of it.
Okay. So just so I'm understanding, so like on this building, for example, the drone would actually have, like, not just written, but would have pictures, like videos.
Yeah, so we'll do, we'll use it. So we'll take that drone map of this building. This is the only one we're doing that on, just because of the detail that's out there and the manpower and the time it would take to go piece by piece by piece. This literally maps it, and you can zoom in and look at it as if you were standing, 5 feet away. And what it also does is that map then, I'm using the term map, but a digital map, you'll be able to pull that up on a screen, click a button, and it'll take you right to that map, that window or that area or whatever. So that gets us to the roof, that gets us around the building. We just felt that we have drone capabilities, but not at that level. And we even say it in there, it's, we're not going to sell something that we can't accomplish. That service does this all the time. It's what they do. So that's a big part of that. Now, we'll take that, and then we'll use it for what we can't get to and see, to look at it and make our summary. The summary of summary of this building is going to include, it's going to be window conditions, caulking, joints, that type of repair, roofing repairs that you might need. So we'll be looking at that. If there's interior core issues with the building, we're not getting into that. That's the destructive part that we're not saying that we're dive into. That's structural engineering type things. If we see something that warrants a deeper look, we're going to tell you, and that's not, hopefully you know us well enough, we're not looking for more fee there, but if there is something that's outside of our box, we're going to tell you, we're seeing something here that is a different animal, and we might want to take a peek at it a little closer, or have somebody, a different group come in and take a look at it. For the most part, we believe we can look at that envelope and make a fair assessment on it, so.
Well, as high as this building is in just different areas that you really can't visually see other than from a drone.
Yeah.
I could see that, like, a little bit of caulking could prevent thousands of dollars damage later, or mortar joints or stuff like that. So that's the
Yeah.
benefit I'm seeing with what you're saying. And then like on the Justice Building roof, that's a flat roof, we'd be able to not know exactly when it's going to be replaced. We'd be able to know that it's got approximately X number of years left, and then budget
Exactly.
accordingly. And we could decide when to pull the trigger. So we're not
Exactly.
getting too far ahead of it, but
Yeah, there was
not
an,
waiting until it's failing.
and that's a great point, segue there. There was an extended service added to that. That's just, if you want that, that's not something you have to take. That addresses that flat roof, the size of that flat roof on the Justice Center. What it is it's an aerial photography, the capabilities they have today. They can scan that roof and literally look at it and come really close to telling you what insulation is wet. And on a flat roof, you're never going to see that unless you're walking it and you feel something soft. And so they're able to scan that, and that gives us a better idea there also. And now take to account, use that. We see up there that there's an area that looks really poor. That's where we would probably draw upon that allowance for roof coring. We'd say, let's go check this out and see what we've got here. So that's how those two might work together. Again, the infrared scan, don't need to do that if you don't have to. We're still going to go up and assess the roof. The gentleman that's mentioned in here, Bob Sanderson, is a over 30-year veteran. It's good to tell you he's older than me even. So, and he's one of the areas and regions only certified building envelope and roofing specialist, and he is very anal about how he goes about things, and very detailed. So he's the one that's going to be doing a lot of this work, especially on those envelope assessments. And then it'll be myself and some other folks as far as some of the interior work or some of the other work that's happening as well too. So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Everything, Terry?
No, I mean, I appreciate you coming in, Chris. I know we've had conversations, kind of walk through kind of the scope of this work. I just really feel like this is an important assessment for us as commissioners. It's our responsibility to be a good steward of the assets that's been entrusted to us as commissioners to take care of in this gorgeous courthouse that's been here for over 100 years. I mean, I think it's imperative that we know what we need to be looking for in the future to maintain this building, because it's a gorgeous building and we want it to be here for generations to come, so.
Yeah. Carrie nailed it. And I think also emphasize before I walk away, 10 years from now, we're not around doing that tool still exists. That's a digital tool you'll be able to update in long after we're gone. So hopefully it gets used.
Thank you. I've always said we had issues with the clock in the dome, and we took steps to repair that. But
Yeah.
it'd been good if we would have known and had routine maintenance on that, so we wouldn't have had that one-time expense. I want to be able, as a commissioner, to leave this office and 4 or 5, 10, 20 years down the road, the new commissioners say, those guys did due diligence and they kept that courthouse in good shape.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to pass that along just as commissioners before us have done. So I appreciate your assessment and everything that's going to be going into this. The only questions I have is,
Yeah.
on the 50,000, you said there's 7,000 added in there for some reason?
It's in that
It's
50
contingencies or something?
No, it's just in there, just to give you the value of the digital mapping of the outside of the courthouse. Is approximately, of that 50,000, 7 of that is actually for the mapping of the
Oh,
courthouse.
okay.
in there.
And then in the 60,000, you said there's 10,000 allowance.
Yeah, there's 2 allowances that are listed there. One is for the roof coring. Roof coring and samples is essentially if we feel like there's an area that's soft on a flat roof or a membrane roof, we'll have Bob or a roofing consultant come out, core that. We'll be able to look at a section of the roof.
Okay.
And so that's $4,500. Those are not, so $4,500 gets you quite a few cores on possibly a couple different roofs. So
Okay.
if we only use half of that, That comes back to you at the end of the, that's your money. It's an allowance that you're drawing from if you need it.
And the total amount again is,
That's 4,500 for the roof coring. And then the boom and lift fee or allowance we put out there was about 6,500, I believe. I think.
6,500. yes.
6,500. Same thing there. If we can accomplish what we need to, with just ladders, and we can make that happen, we will. If it's easier to rent a boom, I look at the Justice Center, the outside of that with sidewalk all around it, that's a real good way to
Easy.
use a lift to just kind of move around the outside and get pretty close.
sure.
So we might do that. And we would try as best as possible to make that all happen within a couple days and limit that. Again, if we don't spend all that, then the remainder comes back to you. If we spend more than that, that's us. That burden's on us. So.
That's a
So
win-win.
that's how an allowance, I should have said that. The difference in those extended service versus an allowance is we draw from it if we need it. If we don't need it, we don't use it. If we go over that allowance, that's us.
Okay.
So,
And that total figure is, you happen to have that
Well,
much?
base bid is 6,500, correct? 60,500 is base bid, and there's an additional $6,400 on top of that if we chose the thermal mapping of the roofs.
Yeah, it's
So-
60,500 for the base, and then the 6,400 was the extended services for that thermal
Okay.
imaging.
So it's 66.9 altogether.
Yes.
if you take your extended services.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, John? You want to take it under advisement, or you want to make a decision now? Or
Make a decision.
what's your motion?
I'd make a motion, we do it, and it's helpful that you were here because I was.
No, I get it.
I was on the fence and I was falling on the no side. so-
Yeah.
But after hearing what you said, I think it's a good thing, so I'd
Yeah.
make that
Well, I
motion.
was on the no side, I'll just tell you that up front, but
I
don't like to
understand, yeah.
Maintain something before it needs maintained. Replace something before it needs it, so.
So Brad, is your motion for the full amount, including the roof mapping, or only the base bid?
Can we do it where we'll go up to that, the full amount, but if we get into just the base inspection stuff and decide that, it looks
not
really
necessary.
good, it's not necessary, then we won't do it. I mean, we don't spend money we don't need to.
Chris, do you know if you do the thermal mapping, of course, you probably could still need to do the coring if that identifies wet areas in the insulation, correct?
Yeah, I think the way I'd approach that, that's a great strategy, and I mean, so let's go into it. The extended service, we can talk to that consultant and just tell him, can you hold your number for, and we know he'll hold his number for a month or two here. That might be maybe perhaps the first thing we attack, and just with us up on the roof, and if we feel like, boy, there's some issues here.
Yeah, if you get up and say it looks
Maybe
perfect,
then
then don't do it. If you-
Exactly. If we feel like, you probably got some wet here and there, or whatever type of thing that's not atypical, then we'd probably advise you, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
It's not voodoo science, it's real. I mean, it works. It's amazing how detailed it can be, but if we don't need it, I'm not here to sell it, so.
So my motion would be up to that amount, but if we don't need it, let's not. obviously
Yeah,
not spend
we feel like we
And
need it,
I-
we would come back
I've
and
known you
ask.
for a long time, and I trust you.
Yeah, that's,
Okay.
you know, if you don't need it, don't use it.
Very good.
I'd second that motion.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Well, thank you, we appreciate it.
Excellent presentation.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Chris. That's all I have, Bob.
That's plenty, thank you. There you go. Okay, Rhonda Helser, County Auditor. She has something for us today. Well, good morning.
Last meeting, you approved a vacation adjustment for new hires. That is in our Right Stuff system now. So the new hires will be given 2 months of continuous, after 2 months of continuous employment instead of 7 months. That was changed, so it's all
Okay.
in our Right Stuff now.
Okay,
Just wanted to let you know.
that's been recorded and ready to go. Okay,
Yep.
very good. Thank you, appreciate that. Any office holder or department head have business with the commissioners this morning? Hearing none, well, there's going to be a change. It was said earlier that Tuesday, May 6th will be our next meeting. That'll be Monday, because Tuesday's election day. So it's Monday, May 6th. That's when we'll have the bid, look through the bids and have a decision by then. So thank you very much. See you back here on Monday, May 6th.
That's the bit.
Monday's the 5th.
Fifth, I mean.
It's
the sixth.
Just looked it up.
It's May 6th, which is Monday.
May 6th is Monday.
Election Day is on May 7th.
Oh.
Yeah. We changed both the day and date. Funny how that works, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you, Eric, appreciate it. Okay.
Oh.
I'm glad you had him come up, because I think it made a big difference.
What's that?
I'm glad you had him come up, because that made a big difference.
Oh, it did for me too. We just voted for it, and everybody's out there going, why would we do that? Stupid. So half my motivation was to convince you that if it was proper. Because I was on the fence. And then the other half was so the press and the public can see the value of this commissioner's spending $60,000 to do this.
I want to get it, well, they need to sign it. After they sign it.
You want me to, sorry, I'm going to sign it.
I'm fine with that.
Does that sound like a robot?
Yeah, it did. That was from the meeting that we did
Yeah,
the
yeah.
motorcycle.
I voted on it.
Yeah. Just you. And then this one is just you for the Google, for the IT. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this needs to be signed. Today's the 20th. And then that one needs to be signed and print and sign for the K-21.
What did we make a decision on that? I thought it was just the report that